Steve Jewin, MMA Mania.
All right, Steve, you are now on with Saad Awad. Go ahead.
Saad, it's good to talk to you again today. How are you doing?
You too. Great. How you doing, Steve?
I'm doing great today. It's fantastic to be talking to you about another big fight you got coming up with Derek Anderson. So, how's your preparation for the fight going?
It's actually going really good. You know, it's one of my better ones I've had yet. You know, and I'm sure, you know, fighters always say that it's the best camp I've had, but I can honestly say I could honestly say this one it's been really good. It's been really good. I'm really confident going into this fight.
Now, you know, reporters, we always like to play the MMA math game, and it really doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things, but I'll just ask anyway, if you take anything away from the fact that Derek's beaten Patricio Pitbull twice, and you lost your last lightweight fight to Patricio.
True. And you can look at that, you know what I mean? And I guess, if you want to look at that and do, like you said, the MMA math, and so win over Derek gives me a win back over Patricio, if you want to look at it that way. So it's going to be a nice little circle after I beat him, because then that means I beat him, he lost to him, he beat him, so it's a little threesome that we have going on. But yeah, I mean, if you want to look at it that way, that's a good way to look at it.
True. So, do you think there's anything you can take away from his fights, watching his recent performances, and say, I feel like I've got a little edge, something that I should know that going into this fight will help me out?
I mean, I'm not going to lay out my game plan, but but I definitely I always look at fighters and see. I always believe I hit harder than a lot of them, and a lot of guys that, like, with his style, that like to stand right in front of you. They usually pride themselves on being able to take punches, and he obviously can take punches. He took some pretty hard ones from Patricio, but I'm happy with that. You know, I mean, he's gonna stand in front of me and take punches, you know, just so he can deliver them. And I don't think he's gonna have a long night. I think he's gonna have a really short night if he does do that.
Well, speaking of hard punches, that's actually something I wanted to ask you about with the Cyborg Santos fight, because it's my perception that you were really just creaming him with right hands when you got on top, and Jason Herzog just stood there and didn't do anything for a while. And maybe it's just me, but I'm watching the fight and I feel like you're waiting for him to do something, and he's not. Was that your perception as well, that he just was reluctant to stop it?
I stopped about 2 or 3 times in mid punch and looked at Herzog and was like, what else do you want me to do? But I understand, you know, he's a ref, and, you know, sometimes referees stop fights early, they get criticized, and stop them late, they get criticized. And this is one of those fights that I didn't knock him out cold, so he couldn't jump in there and just stop it. And I would hit him in Cyborg. He's really a cyborg. You know what I mean? Like, I would hit the dude, and literally I was hitting him so many times that I would hit him, and I'd see his eyes go out, and I'd hit him again, and his eyes would wake up, and he'd try to pull on my leg. And I'd hit him again, his eyes would go out, and I'd hit him again because I was, you know, punching so fast and he'd come back. So Herzog was just like, you know, I talked to Herzog after, and he was like, dude, he was like, what do you want me to do? Like, he was out, and then he was up, and he's like, I'm not gonna stop it while he's up. You know, he was responding. So, you know, he's like, I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. Unfortunately, it took longer than it should have. But he's like, you got to understand. I was like, I do understand it, but from my point of view, he was out and waking up. So it's one of those things that, what if he would have stopped and Cyborg would have jumped up like, hey, I was fine. Then everybody would have looked at him like, you know?
Right. I got the feeling that was why you started hitting him with the elbows, because it was like, I got to do something to convince him that this guy really isn't defending himself. So maybe if I split him open, that'll show Herzog that he's not fighting back.
That was one of the reasons. That's exactly why. But I fractured my left hand, and as I was hitting him, I was trying to hit him with my left, and then I hurt it, and so I was hitting him with my right, and then I was afraid that I was going to keep hitting him with my right and lose my balance and like fall over. And then somebody yelled elbows, and I was like, oh yeah. And then once I threw one, I saw him get cut. Like, he got cut from the first elbow I threw. So I was like, oh, I better keep this up, because then at least that's gonna, like you said, this will stop the fight.
It sure did. And you mentioned that you had a left hand injury. Is that healed up now? Is it not fractured, or was it not fractured?
I broke my left hand when I fought Patricio. Like, broke it completely. I broke it in the first round, and I had surgery on it. They put a plate on it. This time, I got an x-ray right after because it was hurting. And they said, it looks like you broke it, but the plate is holding it together. So there's nothing we can do about it. You already have a plate in there that's holding it.
Wow.
I got a second opinion from my original doctor. And she said, no, they told me that you broke it. I saw the x-ray. I don't think you broke it. Let's wait 2 weeks and take another x-ray. So we waited 2 weeks, and still training. I just wasn't using my left really. But I went and did another X-ray. She was like, yeah, I've been doing surgeries for like 15 years or whatever, 20 years. I never in my life seen somebody break a bone that has a metal plate on it. She's like, I don't know what the hell you're doing. I don't know how hard you're hitting, but you bent the plate in your hand.
Wow.
And you broke the bone in there, but it's already healed up because it was in place. Like it didn't shatter, just a clean crack right in the middle of it. So she was like, yeah, she's like, I could do surgery and take it out, or you can leave it, cause it's not, it's not too bad of a bend, but it's a little bend. So she said, you can leave it. I said, dude, I'm fine. I'm trying to fight soon. And, if it gets messed up later, then we can take it out later. But why do it twice? If it's going to mess up, it's going to mess up,
Right. And then it puts you on the shelf for 6 months or longer. You don't want to do that. You want to keep fighting.
No way. I'm getting old. That's the last thing I want to do.
Right. But is this something that you're going to have to worry about now in the future, that you're just throwing such incredibly hard punches that you're just going to keep having that break over and over again?
I'm hoping not. And I'm trying, like every fight I go into, I definitely don't put that in my head. That's one thing I go in every fight with a positive mindset with if anything, my hands are stronger. That's how I look at it. And, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. If I want to break my toe, I'm going to break my toe. So I just put it in my mindset that my hands are stronger. I have metal in them, and that's it. I'm going to go out there and throw the way I know how to throw, and pray to God that I come out with the win and no injuries.
All right. Sounds like a plan to me, but let me get back to this Derek Anderson fight, because this is a very intriguing situation right now with Michael Chandler having just beaten Patricio. We seem to keep talking about him, and winning the vacant lightweight title. It's opened up a whole new world of getting contenders in there to fight him for the belt. So where do you think this fight with Derek Anderson puts you with a win?
I'm hoping it puts me in title contention, but obviously they already know who they want to fight for the title. It's either going to be Patricio or Ben Henderson, and I'm not going to wait. As long as I don't get injured, I'm gonna ask for a fight again right away. Win or lose, I'm gonna win. But as soon as this fight's done, as long as I'm not injured, I'm probably gonna take a week off with my wife somewhere, come back, and I'm gonna jump right back into camp just as I am now, staying in shape, and I'm gonna start bugging for a fight. I'm gonna ask for a fight at 170 or 155. Tell them if anybody drops out or if anything opens up, I want to fight right away.
Well, they do seem to like matching up fighters that were on the same card on later cards. So perhaps then you'd want to look at, if you get the win with Derek Anderson, then you could fight the loser of Patricio and Benson Henderson. What would you think of that?
I'll take that fight. I'll definitely take that fight. Patricio had some words with me before, and I would have no problem fighting. I'll fight him in a heartbeat. And Ben Henderson, he's the biggest name Bellator has, I believe, in the lightweight division. So I would definitely jump up and take that fight. So I'll take either one of those. If that got offered to me, and if they're both healthy, or whoever's healthy and I'm healthy, and they offer me a fight right away, I'll jump on it. Especially if it's going to give me a title fight after.
Now talk to me a little about, you said Patricio had words with you. Is it because you were fighting his brother, or was it not related to that?
I don't remember what happened. I don't even know how it started, but somehow he started talking crap. That's what happened. Me and his brother signed, the contract to fight, and he went on a Bellator picture they had posted and told me I was going to die. And so I went off. I was like, you don't tell somebody that this is a sport for professionals. There's a way to talk shit, and there's a way to step over the line. And he told me I was going to die. And so when we seen him, we kind of hit him up, and we almost got into it. And that's because he had like 10 dudes with him, but it was me and Georgie and one of my other buddies. But he's just, he has a big mouth, man, and I don't care too much for the dude. I respect his brother. His brother's very respectful, and his brother's a true fighter too. And but for him, I'll fight him tomorrow. If Ben Henderson gets hurt, I'll take that fight.
Yeah, it sounds like you'd take it in a heartbeat. But what do you think about him going up to 155 anyway? I mean, one's lightweight, one's featherweight. Now he's stepping up into his brother's world.
True, that's true, and that is how you tell him before. Unless you know him in person, then you'll know the one that's about 4 foot tall. You'll know which one that one is. So yeah, he is stepping up. He's very short and compact. I think I know Ben Henderson isn't too tall, so the size shouldn't look crazy different. Ben Henderson is very thick too. So I think it's gonna be an interesting fight. They're both kind of built almost the same way, and they're both pretty scrappy, and they both hit pretty hard. So I think between them it's gonna be a good fight.
And I think it's a much better fight for Benson Henderson than 170, because you talked about the size, and with Andrey Koreshkov, he definitely looked like it was the wrong size for him.
Yeah, and Koreshkov is no joke. That's a big jump to jump up a weight class and fight somebody like that. You know, Koreshkov's a champ for a reason. I don't think he gets as much recognition as he should get, but that's a bad dude. You know what I mean? And he showed it. He dismantled, you know, Ben Henderson, even though it was up weight class, he dismantled him every single round. Like, you'd think Ben Henderson would have got 1 or 2 rounds in, you know, but he kind of, you know, took him apart in every aspect of the fight.
That's very true. But you've shown you went up to 170 your last fight, and you had a lot of success with Cyborg Santos. So I remember when we talked about it the last time, it was short notice, and you just stepped in because you wanted to fight, and you felt like you matched up well with him, and obviously that proved to be true. But now you've got that reputation, like you can win at 155, you can win at 170. People know this about you in Bellator. So would you want to step up to face Koreshkov?
If they called me to do it, I definitely would. Because, like I said, I'm fighting now to make money. I have a family to feed, and as long as the paycheck's bigger, I'll fight. I'll fight heavyweight if I had to. You know what I mean? If the paycheck's there, so I'll step up. I'll step up and do it. Koreshkov's a stand-up fighter, so I think it would make a good fight. I like to stand up. I like to fight. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's the best fighter Bellator has right now at 170 because he's a champ. So I know it definitely wouldn't be a fight that, you know, I'd be lining up. You know, just, you know, it's at the top of my list. But if it presented itself and the money was right, I'll jump up and take it.
But heavyweight, though, really? I mean, you want to get in there and mix it up with guys like Bobby Lashley?
No. I wouldn't. But you know what I mean. Like, I would, you know, if the money's right, I'll step up and take it. I think 170 is my limit. I don't think I'll go past 170. I'm not that big of a dude.
All right. Well, speaking of the weight, what's the weight cut like right now? Where are you at before the fight?
It's really good. It's really good. I've actually, I've been waking up about, 171, 172, and, that's really good for me. You know, I'm usually cutting, you know, a lot more or a little bit more. So after I fought at 170, I kind of kept my weight around there the whole time. So I'm usually waking up at, you know, a month out. I'm usually about 181, about 180, 181. Now I'm, you know, 2 weeks out and I'm waking up at 170. I'm usually probably 75, 76. So I'm not too worried about my weight, and that's one thing I usually have to focus on. So it's kind of putting my focus more towards my training, which is awesome.
Do you know if they're doing early morning weigh-ins in Anaheim, and whether they are or not, are you a fan of them?
Yeah, why not? You know, because I am one of the guys that, I cut a lot of weight, but I cut it from, you know, I try to cut it early. This time, you know, I'm fortunate to have, you know, not too much weight to cut, but why not? If I get to hydrate longer, I'll take it.
It's got to be nice to not also have to worry about having to travel and then make the cut, because San Bernardino to Anaheim, you know, you stay in your home state.
Yeah, it's not far at all. It's about, I'll say about 45 minutes from where I live, but we are going to stay over there. So that's a cool thing. But if I do need anything, it's not like I'm in another state and I forgot this. Can, you know, whoever's flying in, can you bring it for me? Or can you send it overnight and let me pay $60 so I can get here tomorrow? So I don't have to worry about any of that. I'm close to my home. I'm close to, you know, my family. And then when it's all said and done, I don't have to worry about waiting for a plane at 6 a.m. the next day and coming back.
Absolutely not. And of course, you also get the big hometown pop because, like you said, all your family, all your friends are already out there. So you'll get a very nice reception when you come out for the fight.
Oh, I will. And you'll see it on TV. You'll see everybody going crazy. I'll have a lot of people there.
Yeah. I mean, that was one thing I noticed with the fight in Temecula with Patricio was even when you lost, the crowd was very unhappy about it. I could hear the boos all the way here in Omaha.
Yeah. I usually have a big crowd that especially when it's local. They usually, you know, fill up the at least one, you know, quarter of the place if it's a big arena. Even when I fought Rickles in Florida, I had, I think, 25 people that flew out there. And then I had another probably like 10 people that drove, like from other states that were nearby that drove to come see me fight. So I got a cool little following that comes to support me, that are, you know, friends and family that have been really supportive my whole career since I fought, you know, in the backyard over here. And, you know, when it was a, you know, non-sanctioned event, I would still have a couple hundred people there. So it's been a pleasure.
I'm glad those followers are sticking with you. And hey, let's get more followers that'll come out to your fights. Let's do some social media plugs and any sponsors you want to thank as well.
My social media is Saad. It's my first name. It's SAAD MMA. That's at Saad MMA at Twitter and, you know, Instagram. And I just want to give a shout out to my strength and conditioning coach, Rick McCorkle, down at District 7. He owns a CrossFit gym, but when he works with us, he has all these special things to do cause he used to be a fighter, so he knows what things to work on, when to push, when not to push, and he's really kind of excelled my cardio and my conditioning. So I think that's why my weight's a lot lower, and that's why I'm feeling a lot better coming in. I really took advantage of him for the past 2-3 months.
He's not related to big sexy Sean McCorkle, is he?
No, I don't know. I'll ask him, but no, I don't think so.
Probably not spelled the same way anyway, but I just heard the name, and that's the first person I thought of was that 7-foot giant who had like 1 fight in UFC, or 2 fights, I think.
But you never know, man. You never know.
Yeah, that's true. There are a lot of brothers in fighting after all, like Patricio and Pitbull, so that's, anyway.
Yep. And maybe if they don't know it, they could be, but yeah.
Yeah, they could be cousins, who knows. But anyway, thanks for giving him a shout out, and thanks for taking the time today. I appreciate the interview as always, and I wish you the best of luck against Derek Anderson coming up here in just a couple weeks.
Yep, thank you so much, and hopefully I'll get an interview from you after the win, and moving on to the next one.
That'll be a plan. I'll get in touch with Bellator and we'll talk again.